The Galactic Assembly Chamber was silent as the Zenvar representative finished speaking. His voice, laced with contempt, echoed through the vast hall. Humanity, a race of merchants and diplomats, was being given a final opportunity to submit. The terms were clear. Earth's military would be dismantled, its leaders would swear fealty to the Zenvar Dominion, and its resources would be absorbed into the Empire's ever-growing war machine. Resistance would mean annihilation. A low murmur rippled through the gathered alien factions, many of whom had long viewed humans as a minor species. Traitors. Entertainers. They had no empire, no conquests, no history of expansionist wars. In a galaxy where might dictated respect, humans had none. The Zenvar overlord leaned forward, mandibles clicking in amusement. You should feel honored. Your kind will be permitted to serve. The human ambassador didn't flinch. He listened, expression impassive, before speaking a single sentence. This is your last warning. Keep pushing, and we drop the act. Silence. Then laughter. The Zenvar were warriors. They had crushed civilizations older and mightier than Earth. What could humans possibly do? The Overlord's tone was mocking. What act? Your kind has no fleets that can stand against us. No armies worth mentioning. You should be grateful we offer you this mercy. The ambassador only shook his head. You misunderstand. The act was pretending we needed mercy. The transmission ended. Within hours, the Zenvar war fleet mobilized. Massive carriers and dreadnoughts slipped from hyperspace, forming an iron wall around Earth's solar system. Their invasion force, fully prepared for planetary occupation, prepared for a swift, decisive campaign. The Galactic Assembly watched with detached curiosity. The humans would be crushed. Then, everything changed. Zenvar's ships lost power mid-flight. Communications between warships cut out without warning. Energy readings became erratic, their shields fluctuating wildly. Entire sections of their fleet, millions of tons of metal and firepower, simply disappeared from sensors, gone as if they had never existed. Panic rippled through the fleet. Then, humanity spoke again. A transmission cut through every channel, hijacking the Zenvar's own systems. You were warned! Across the battlefield, dark shapes flickered into existence. Colossal warships, previously invisible to every known sensor, surrounded the Zenvar fleet. Not crude planetary defense vessels, but precision-crafted engines of war. AI-driven, shielded by technology the galaxy had never encountered, they moved with terrifying efficiency. The first human volley came not as an overwhelming wave, but as a calculated execution. One moment, the Zenvar flagship loomed over the battlefield. The next, it was reduced to drifting debris, its destruction so absolute that it didn't even register as an explosion, just an absence where something used to be. Zenvar commanders scrambled to respond, but their weapons refused to fire. Their targeting systems showed nothing but static. Some attempted to retreat, only to find their own fleet formations closing in on them, hijacked by human cyberwarfare. Their war drones, once precision instruments of death, turned against their own ships. Across the Galactic Assembly, representatives watched in horrified silence. This wasn't a battle. This was a demonstration. Then, the true terror began. Panic spread through the Zenvar fleet. Their warships, built to crush lesser species, had become their own execution chambers. Weapons refused to respond. Engines locked up mid-maneuver. Entire ships lost power, drifting helplessly as unseen forces tore through their ranks. A desperate attempt to flee met an immediate response. Human warships, once hidden, now moved with surgical precision, cutting off escape routes before they could form. Zenvar admirals shouted commands, but every countermeasure failed before it could even be deployed. Then, the first boarding operations began. Zenvar warriors were bred for war, their armor impenetrable to most small arms fire. They had conquered planets, broken armies, and shattered fleets with their strength. Yet, as their corridors filled with an eerie silence, they felt something they had never experienced before. Fear. Human strike teams emerged, moving with an unnatural efficiency. Not a mindless charge, not the reckless aggression of desperate soldiers, but something worse. Something cold. Calculated. The Zenvar fired first, their weapons blazing through the corridors of their own ships. It didn't matter. The first shots missed. The second landed but did nothing to stop what came next. Humans moved in perfect coordination, anticipating attacks before they even happened. Zenvar warriors, trained for brutal close-quarters combat, found themselves outmatched by beings who adapted mid-fight, who took injuries without hesitation, who struck with a level of precision they couldn't comprehend. A wounded human should have fallen back. Instead, he grinned. Burned flesh, shattered armor, none of it stopped him from lunging forward and taking down 3 Zenvar warriors before his squad moved in to finish the rest. The horror spread. Zenvar soldiers barricaded themselves in control rooms, sealing off bulkheads, cutting off access routes. It didn't help. The humans didn't break through the doors. They didn't need to. One by one, life support systems began shutting down. Gravity generators reversed, sending Zenvar warriors floating helplessly into kill zones where unseen snipers picked them off with ruthless efficiency. Lights flickered, then died. Airlocks opened without warning, sending entire squads into the void. The Zenvar hadn't just lost control of the battle. They had lost control of their own ships. For the first time in their species' history, surrender seemed like the only option. The Galactic Assembly, once so sure of humanity's weakness, watched in stunned silence. The battle was already over. The humans had decided when it ended. Zenvar Command tried to negotiate. They sent out frantic transmissions, offering to retreat, to stand down, to cease hostilities entirely. No response came. Human forces moved without hesitation, without gloating, without arrogance, only cold efficiency. Across the battlefield, Zenvar dreadnoughts, once symbols of their unchallenged dominance, were being systematically dismantled. Not through brute force, but through absolute control. Their reactors overloaded without explanation. Their command systems shut down mid-order. On the bridge of one crippled warship, an admiral's claws dug into the console as he watched his fleet dissolve into chaos. The humans were playing with them. They weren't just winning. They were proving a point. Then, for the first time since the battle began, the humans spoke again. You were warned. One by one, Zenvar's ships began detonating, not from external fire, but from their own systems turning against them. Some simply ceased functioning altogether, left adrift as silent tombs in the void. Others vanished in bursts of light, removed from existence so cleanly that no wreckage remained. The survivors, those lucky enough to still have functioning ships, made the only choice left. They abandoned their posts, sending escape pods toward the nearest neutral territories, their discipline broken, their will to fight erased. For those who managed to flee, the nightmare wasn't over. Their navigation systems no longer functioned. Their hyperdrives refused to engage. No matter where they tried to go, their ships carried them toward a single destination: Earth. Across the Galactic Assembly, entire civilizations now realized the truth. The humans had never been weak. They had never been helpless. They had simply been waiting, watching, and deciding whether the rest of the galaxy was worth saving. The Zenvar had given them an answer. Now Earth would respond. The Zenvar survivors arrived in orbit around Earth, their remaining ships dragged there by forces beyond their understanding. Their vessels, once symbols of conquest, now drifted powerless, stripped of weapons, defenses, and dignity. They were made to wait. No demands, no further attacks, just silence. The weight of it crushed them more than any battle could. They had thought humanity's warning was an empty threat. Now they understood. Finally, a message reached every surviving Zenvar, not just in orbit, but across the galaxy. This was restraint. The words were simple, but the meaning was clear. Earth had not fought at full strength. They had chosen not to annihilate the Zenvar entirely. The galaxy had seen only a glimpse of what humans were capable of, and even that had shattered the illusion of their weakness. A single command followed. Leave. Speak of this. Do not return. The Zenvar didn't argue. They didn't bargain. They obeyed. The shattered remnants of their once proud empire fled, never daring to look back. The Galactic Assembly convened in emergency session, the balance of power forever changed. The question was no longer about humanity's place in the galaxy. It was about what humanity would do next. But Earth gave no further response. No demands, no ultimatums, only the knowledge that they had been merciful. That they had chosen to let the galaxy continue existing as it was. For now.